कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
In the news tonight, audit report highlights lack of proper recording system. FCCC warns against illegal eviction. And 35 ex-offenders secures employment.
From the studios of FBC Suvat.
The Housing Authority audit report has highlighted that in many cases, information requested by the Auditor General's team was not provided by the Housing Authority. Minister for Housing Pramila Kumar says this demonstrates that there is no proper centralized system for record keeping or a tracking system on decisions made on allot allocations. Kritika Kumar reports.
The Minister for Housing highlighted that the critical records such as tender documents for land development were not provided during the investigation.
The special audit report clearly stated that the governance, risk and compliance was not exercised to its highest level. Critical records such as tender documents for land development were not provided during investigation. Possible cases of suspected fraud and collusion.
The minister says the audit report also pointed out that some former staff who approved lot allocation despite not having the authority refused to be interviewed during the investigation. Kumar says the ministry will work closely with the authority to strengthen the policies.
Housing Authority to provide all missing information and take appropriate action in case of missing files and information.
The minister adds they will also introduce a new Housing Act to strengthen the legal framework within the housing sector. The board has been asked to urgently look at the authority's organization structure to realign it with the mission and goals of the organization.
Approval of development projects as well as allotment of lots will be tightened so there are no rooms for manipulation. CEO and senior management staff should be assessed on their capability to deliver the annual work plan.
The ministry will revisit the policies and procedures of the Housing Authority to ensure these are clear and relevant for the purposes. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission is currently investigating 3 cases of forceful evictions. The Commission is concerned with the lack of empathy and unethical practices by landlords who choose to use unlawful means to evict tenants. The family that was arbitrarily evicted from their flat in an informal settlement in Tamavua Suva have been temporarily placed in a hotel. The Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission confirmed that funds were collected by them and the Legal Aid Commission to support the family. Commission Director Ashwin Raj says the eviction of the family of 5 is of a grave concern. Raj says they have raised the matter with the Minister for Housing and Community Development, and it also raises several legal questions about rights, ownership and restitution of rights, as renting out property in an informal settlement is unlawful. 35 ex-offenders through the Fiji Correction Service Yellow Ribbon Project have successfully attained employment upon their release. Since its inception in 2018, the project has boosted the spirit of accepting back these Fijians into the community and also integrating them into the workforce. Apenisa Wangarandova reports there are 7 units of trade within the FCS facility where training is provided.
The Director of Rehabilitation says it is important to recognize the skills of these Fijians and ensure they hone their talents.
Those business units were able to provide skills to these inmates. We also have some inmates who already have skills when they entered the system, but the only thing that we did, we brush up the discipline aspect of their lives.
Senior Superintendent Salote Panapasa says more inmates have been identified this year with skill sets that can be of great value outside the prison facility.
We identified about 100 inmates, those with skill sets, and those who are about serving less than 12 months from their date of release. Those are the potential inmates that can be given early release on employment.
Former inmate Fiu Katarina, who now works as a supervisor at the Raiwanga Bakery, says the project has given her a sense of belonging as she enjoys life outside jail.
This job opportunity meant a lot to us as it helps us to integrate into the community and into the workforce. It also helps us to stand on our own 2 feet and provide for our families.
Hundreds of people enjoyed the 2020 Yellow Ribbon Walk in Suva this morning. The event is an awareness program aimed at giving a second chance to ex-offenders. FBC News.
Changing people's mindset towards certain non-communicable diseases should be prioritized, as many people as young as 12 are now suffering from stroke. According to health professionals, young people have a mindset that they cannot suffer from stroke. Kritika Kumar reports.
Dr. Pranil Krishna believes making the right choice is vital.
There is a very big need in terms of changing the mindset of our fellow Fiji citizens. We would like, on behalf of the Ministry of Health, to have a very healthy population. We want our individuals out there in the public to look at the right decisions and the healthy choices they make, because in the end we need to move as a country forward.
Krishna says stroke does not discriminate by age, and the increasing incidences is worrying for a country as small as Fiji.
Being young doesn't stop you from having a stroke. It can affect any age group. We've had very young ones up till the age of 12, as you've heard. We have the luxury of having everything around us that we are eating. We have the luxury of drinking whatever we want. We'd like to tell the public at large, young or be it old, watch what you eat.
The Counter Stroke Fiji trustee believes Fijians need to have eating etiquette.
Also in NCD, particularly in stroke, you need to deal with your stress, you need to have a lot of rest.
Counter Stroke Fiji believes that much work remains to be done in both the public and private sectors concerning stroke prevention. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Up ahead, Fiji celebrates World Cities Day and construction industry struggling.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Inclusivity in all cities and towns is vital in strengthening and growing communities and the country as a whole. For the first time, the government, through the Ministry of Local Government, in partnership with United Nations Habitat and other stakeholders, collaborated to celebrate communities and organizations that make up cities and towns. Venina Kautonga reported the celebration was held at Suva's Albert Park today.
The lifeblood of any city is its community, and this includes youth, sportsmen, armed forces, and even persons living with disabilities.
It's about celebrating today the partnership we have with all parts of society. That is why it's so important. It's the United Nations Day, designated every year to celebrate better cities, better life. But this year, it's particularly about valuing our communities.
UN Habitat Urban Resilience Team Leader Inga Kote says the success of any city or town depends on the voices of all its members.
And we put a special emphasis on this because we see that building cities or making cities more inclusive will be really important going forward. We have many people here today with a disability, living with a disability, and we'll ask questions on what kind of city they would like to see 5 years from now.
Representative from the Fiji Association of the Deaf, Leona Tamailai, says the inclusion of different members of society gives them an opportunity to raise awareness as well as showcase their talent.
The program is so good and so excited, and we hope that we'll do more on this, and we'll be more into inclusive, and we showcase our even though we're disabled, but we showcase what we are able to do.
Local Government Minister Pramila Kumar officially opened the event, commending stakeholders and businesses for working together. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
Members of the Construction Industry Council continues to struggle with little to no work available. CIC President Gordon Jenkins says a lot of workers have been sent home as a result. Gordon says despite the slowdown, members remain optimistic and are doing what they can to get business back on track. He adds they are pleased that materials can still come through the border despite not being able to bring expertise across.
The more work there is, the better the industry is, the better everybody is. I think we've been overshadowed a bit by COVID-19, but prior to that, there was a bit of a global turndown in the economies of a lot of countries, and we were not left out of that.
Breaking the silence and establishing a good support system is necessary in the fight against cancer. Fiji Women's Rights Movement Executive Director Nalini Singh says the increase in cancer cases locally is due to the culture of silence within Fijian communities. Venina Rakautonga reports 609 people have been registered with the Fiji Cancer Society and 196 newly diagnosed cases have been recorded so far this year.
According to the Fiji Women's Rights Movement survey on reproductive cancer, the organization has found that 50% of women will not seek medical help.
We break the barriers around discussing it because we are dying from it. If the statistics is 1 in 5, then it's 1 in 5 amongst us. So that is the kind of reality that we must bear in mind.
Singh says Pinktober month should not only be the time of cancer awareness.
Yes, we talk about it this particular month, but the conversation cannot just be in this particular month. It must be year-long, lifelong, because what we are finding is that younger and younger women are being detected.
49-year-old cancer survivor Lavinia Vakavengu says fear of health assistance can be the leading cause of death.
And don't allow fear to stop you from seeing the doctor, and there's power in the support from the family. Yeah?
Today marks the end of the Cancer Awareness Month. The Fiji Cancer Society have received aid and financial help from corporate bodies, governmental agencies and communities, and hope people will be more forthcoming instead of late presentation. Venina Rakautonga, FPC News.
The Ministry of Health has moved all COVID-19 health supplies to a new location after 8 months of using the Civic Centre ground floor to stock supplies. The Health Minister says the supplies are critical in safeguarding the lives of frontline workers from being exposed to the virus. Apinisa Wangairandovu again with the story.
Minister Dr. Efremi Wangadambete says they are thankful to the SCC for providing the service without any charges.
We've been able to find appropriate places to be able to stock and stockpile our COVID-19 resources, apart from the resources that we have in health.
Suva City Council Director of Finance Kevin Rathod says they are honored to have assisted the Health Ministry in these trying times.
We are honored and privileged to partner with your ministry and assist you in providing this wonderful facility which you guys have used to serve the public at large.
The minister also presented certificates of appreciation to some council employees who acted as frontline workers over the past few months. Apiniso Wangaradovu, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, Nadi successfully defended Fairbrother Trophy. And Suva wins Association Cup. This and more coming up.
Pula natango aprosla nagarse ngor kraki do televio no varong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibit.
Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibit.
The Nandi rugby side broke the hearts of many Tai-Levu fans after successfully defending the Fairbrother Sullivan Trophy at Prince Charles Park this afternoon. Nandi continued their unbeaten 80-year Fairbrother winning history over Tai-Levu, defeating them 28-10. The Jetsiders forward back to control of the match, bursting through the Tai-Levu defense line and setting up 3 of their 5 tries. Nandi rugby executive Jeff Tamata says they have learned from their past mistakes.
Last year, we had a mistake. We won the trophy from Naitasiri, but after 1 week, Naitasiri took it. Nanronga took it. This year, we learned from our mistake last year. We don't want to repeat what we did last year. And we put all the puzzles together, and the outcome is on the field.
Defending Skipper Cup champion Suva will play Namosi in the semi-final next week, while Nandronga takes on Naitasiri in the second semi-final. The semi-finals were confirmed after the completion of the 14 rounds. Suva defeated Namosi at Thompson Park in Navua today 22-17 in their final round match, and they will meet again next weekend in the semi-final. The capital city side had some new faces as most of their senior players featured for their respective clubs in the Escort Shield semi-finals.
I think we will have, hopefully we'll have a good ground to go and play in, especially with this kind of weather. It's anybody's game, so the boys got lucky today, and we will come prepared for next week, and I know that they will want to topple us, and I think that's the dimension of the game that's going on now. I think we will be preparing very well to meet Namosi next week.
The Navua football team could not hold on to their 1-0 lead as Lautoka came from behind to win 3-1 at Churchill Park in the Vodafone Premier League. Manav Pamal gave Navua a perfect start, but the host fought back to score 3 goals to earn the maximum points. The loss for Navua has forced them into the danger zone as they will hope Nasiru loses to Mba tomorrow. If the Giant Killers lose to the Man in Black, they will be moving towards demotion to the senior division since they will remain on 8 points, while Navua is on 10 points. The Vinit Chand captain side will then just need a draw to remain in the Premier Division in their final round match against Nasinu. Fans can expect intense level of competition in the Vodafone Women's Inter-District Championship semi-finals. The top 4 teams, including Ba, Lambasa, Rewa and Suva, have advanced into the semis, fighting for a spot in the final, Talimaterukula reports.
Officials say thrilling football will be witnessed tomorrow, with the top 4 teams vying for the trophy.
Looking at the current lineup, you see some of the teams that have turned up have a lot of the national team players that are in their districts, and then so they already display that level of football, and I think fans will miss out if they don't come and watch.
FA Chief Executive Mohammed Yusuf says it will be anybody's game.
There's some exciting matches because all the teams have improved big time. It's not only Ba and Lambasa, it's Rewan and Suba is playing well now. So good to see that there's opportunities given for the girls to play football at this level.
While Mba and Lambasa are seen as tournament favorites, hosts Suva and Rewa will be out to give them a good run.
The girls have been training really hard. They were in camp for a month. Also urging the Suva supporters to come out in numbers, come and support their team, since Suva is hosting, and we are vying for the IDC trophy, women's trophy this year.
We love playing for Rewa, representing the district, and we've got good support from the association, from our coaches, our management.
The Vodafone Women's IDC will be held tomorrow at ANZ Stadium in Suva. Talimaterukula, FBC Sports.
Volleyball may just be another sport for an individual, but for the players, it is an escape and a chance to chase their passion. The 2020 Club Championship sees players from different backgrounds and various age groups showcasing their love and talent for the sport. Talimaterukula again with the details.
For 24-year-old Waterheads player Rawa Tanglala, playing volleyball is part of his family's tradition.
It's like everything for me because my family has been part of this sport ever since I was small, so it's been a generational game for us.
A teacher at Kalambu Primary School, the Ra native uses volleyball to remind his students that sports can provide an alternative career path.
For me as a teacher, motivating my students, reminding them that sports can also provide for them if they put their talent to good use.
A positive takeaway from the tournament so far is the high numbers of younger players participating.
That's what we want to see, and that's what real development is all about. When you bring this 18, 19, 20 to play with some players who's been playing for the last 10, 15 years. That's how knowledge is passed down.
The victors of the club championship will be crowned the winner of the Eastern Central Division. Talimaterukula, FBC Sports.
Competition continues to be stringent in the Reset Netball Championship now that only one round remains. Netters are aware that their consistent performance may earn themselves a spot in the Fiji Pool squad. Former Fiji Pool center Vaiti Wangatambu says making the final selection will be tough.
Everybody's gunning for a spot in the team, in the main selection. I believe the girls will come out firing.
The Suva cricket team are the winners of the Cricket Fiji Association Cup Championship. The capital side, who were the tournament favourite, defeated Onoilau in the final at Albert Park today. Suva batted first with 9 for 310 runs in the full 50 overs. Onulau gave chase but were all out for 42 runs in the 14th over. Sivespen Indakai Jr. was named the man of the match, securing 7 wickets for 10 runs. Mostly cloudy conditions with few showers was experienced over the eastern and northern parts of the country today. Fine weather prevailed elsewhere with isolated showers in the afternoon. In the west, cloudy conditions and slight showers prevailed for most of the day. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, cloud covered most areas and heavy showers were experienced in most places. And up north, showers and cloudy conditions also prevailed. At sea, a strong wind warning remains in force for all Fiji waters. A high-pressure system lies to the far south of Fiji and directs a strong southeasterly wind flow over Fiji waters. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas can be expected. And turning to the tides, low tide is at 12:49 a.m. with the next high tide at 6:55 tomorrow. Sunrise is at 5:27 tomorrow. Outlook for tomorrow: cloudy periods with some showers and isolated thunderstorms over most parts of the country. Brief showers over eastern and interior parts of Viti Levu. Further outlook: cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. Recapping the main stories: audit report highlights lack of proper recording system. FCCC warns against illegal eviction, and 35 ex-offenders secures employment. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. And to our poll question, this week we're asking, should fireworks be allowed during Diwali? Visit our FBC website to answer. And remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet at FBC News or hashtag FBC News. And that's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, Mademanda.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.